What's up, guys? I made this video to talk about one of my absolute favorite books when it comes to strength and conditioning, the Metroflex Powerbuilding Basics by Josh Bryant and Brian Dobson. So I'm going to break down some of the aspects of this book, some of the positives and minuses, and you can kind of make your own judgment from there. So about the book in general. The book is about power building, as the title suggests. So for those of you who haven't heard the term, power building is basically a hybrid of powerlifting and bodybuilding. The idea is to be as big, muscularly speaking, and as strong as possible. Think, big, muscular powerlifters, football players, linemen specifically maybe, and strongmen, that kind of thing. That's what the general book is based around, getting you as close to that as possible. So when it comes to the actual contents of the book, it's pretty exhaustive in terms of the amount of topics the book covers and how in-depth it gets into a lot of them. So to break some of those down, it talks about your mental preparation and goal setting as you approach your training, which is important, especially when you're training for bigger and heavier lifts all the time. It talks about some of the history of powerlifting and bodybuilding and gets into some of the routines and training strategies, of some of the best powerlifters in history. They break down a lot of the fundamental lifts as well as accessory lifts that you'll need in your program to move forward. The book talks about nutrition and recovery, conditioning. There is a section for performance-enhancing drugs. Outside of that, the biggest section, I think that's probably the most, one of the most important parts of the book is the giant section on programs. Both some templates that you can use directly, just take it, do this template, and templates of programs that have worked for real-life lifters in pursuit of their goals, and it breaks that down. Now, who is this book for? Much like the initial introduction probably led you to believe, this book is for anyone who's looking to be as big and as strong as possible. So if you're interested in, getting toned for the beach or losing 10 pounds and getting fitter for spin class, this really isn't the book for you. But if you're talking, I want to put on 20, 30, 40 pounds and bench press 200 pounds more than I ever had before, or finally squat 5, 6, 700 pounds, that kind of thing, then this is the book you're looking for. Again, if you're thinking powerlifter, strongman, football player, then you're in the right neighborhood. Highlights of the book. So when it comes to the highlights of the book, the number one thing that I thought stood out with this book is how comprehensive it is. The book is enormous, and the information is incredibly detailed. This is a book that you can, and I have, gone back to year after year after year of reading it to delve into it again and take another look at the information. This is a book that literally by the time you've outgrown it, you should arguably be writing your own book on the world record you set. It's that comprehensive. This is, I guess you could say, a Bible of getting big and strong. In terms of the drawbacks to the book, the only major drawback that really stood out to me was with some of the programs. So I mentioned there's a giant section in the book for programs, and one of the drawbacks is when they give you the real life programs that lifters have used, say to go from a 400 pound bench to a 500 pound bench, it's literally just listing he benched this much this day, this much this day, etc., which is interesting to read, but it makes it a lot harder to take that program and see how to use it yourself. So you've either got to do the math yourself on the percentages to kind of get a sense of where the program was at, or you're going to have to work off some of the other templates in the book. But that's the only real drawback to the book that I could see. In conclusion, you can buy this book on Amazon for I think $50 Canadian right now, and I don't think I can come up with a better idea on how you could spend $50 in pursuit of being bigger and stronger that would serve you better than this book would. Absolutely unbelievable piece of work by both Josh and Brian, and you'd be hard pressed to find anything better. The last thing I just want to add, because this is a pretty glowing review, this is a completely unsolicited review, and I'm going to be doing more and more reviews every month or so about different training related books that I've delved into. Some might get a glowing review like this, some maybe not so much, but there's really nothing in it for me if you buy the book, don't buy the book, like it or not. This is just my take on the book. So if you do get it, let me know what you think, but I think you'll be really glad that you spent the money and the time reading it.